guys, it's Libby from the Coaster Pro, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Twisted Timbers, the RMC at Kings Dominion in Virginia. And this coaster is really good. I love it so much. It's in my top 10 coasters ever, and I've got the chance to ride it 11 times in 2 days. I visited Kings Dominion once 2 years ago and then once in September of 2019, so last year. And of course, Twisted Timbers did not open until 2018, so I didn't get to ride it 2 years ago. But I did have the chance to ride it 11 times, and here are my thoughts on it. So when I went to Kings Dominion, I went straight for the back of the park, which is where Twisted Timbers is located. And I actually saw a lot of people heading there, and then there's a huge line to get into the entrance to Twisted Timbers. And this reminded me of like Six Flags Great Adventure, because they don't really open the rides up for a little bit. I don't know why they do this. It's really annoying, because then you're just waiting outside the entrance for the employees to let you in. But when the ride opened up, I sat towards the back of the train, about the third last row. And I actually ended up waiting about like 5 minutes, even though the park just opened. But the operations were really bad for this ride. Like, it's definitely one of the worst operations in the park. Like, I-305s are pretty good when I visited it, but Twisted Timbers, they're taking like 2 minutes at the least. Like, they're insanely slow, and they had to keep rechecking restraints. It was really annoying. And since there were 2 trains running this day, the second train would always be stacked behind it for like a while. But besides the bad operations, there's not much I don't like about this ride. And it's really smooth since it is an RMC, and it's the perfect length for me. Rides like Steel Vengeance, I like that they're long, but that doesn't make them re-rideable. So that's why I was able to ride Twisted Timbers so many times. Also, this is definitely the smoothest coaster I've been on. Twisted Colossus is really smooth too, and a few other like steel coasters are pretty smooth, like Griffin, but this is definitely the smoothest I've been on. Now getting into the layout. Even though Twisted Timbers is not the tallest RMC, it's not even that tall, it's like a little over 100 feet, it's still really good. And one of my favorite parts is the drop. It's really cool how you just like fly out of your seat, and if you get some room on your restraint, then you're just going to go flying. Another one of my favorite parts is definitely the 3 back-to-back airtime hills. They're such good airtime. Like, this is definitely some of the best airtime on an RMC. I have only ridden 3 RMCs though. Twisted Timbers, Twisted Colossus, and Steel Vengeance. But getting back to Twisted Timbers, this ride has 3 inversions, and I'm not the biggest fan of inversions. I like airtime way more than inversions, but these are really good ones. And as I mentioned before, my favorite inversion on this ride is definitely the drop, the barrel roll drop. And I just think this is a very unique element. It's only on a few other rides, like Storm Chaser. So I think it's really cool how it's not a normal drop like a lot of the other RMCs out there. I also really like the 0G roll. It's really low to the ground, and it just feels really cool being so low. And it's different from other parts of the ride because you're not like going through huge airtime hills. Another thing to add is when I first rode this ride in the morning, it was running really slow. I didn't like it as much as I did towards the end of my trip because there wasn't really the best airtime, but once it got warmed up, it was running super fast, and it also wasn't really smooth at first when it was in the morning. So this ride needs a little bit of time to warm up, and once it does, it's running amazing. I also suggest to sit towards the front of the train. I know usually RMCs are better in the back, well, from my experience, but I got to sit in the back row of this ride, and it was really good. But I sat in like the 4th row once, and oh my gosh, it was just flying through the layout, and I feel like you get more airtime sitting in the front, but I did not get to ride in the front row, so maybe that's different. But just a little tip. And that's going to be it for all my thoughts on Twisted Timbers at Kings Dominion. This ride is really cool, and I highly suggest riding it when you go to Kings Dominion. Thank you for watching, and if you want, you can leave some suggestions for video ideas down in the comments.